I've come to understand that every time Erik ten Hag sleeps, he dreams one player that is missing out in that midfield of Manchester United. That is Frenkie de Jong. Again, from Samuel Lucas of the Manchester Evening News. He's a correspondent for Manchester United at the Manchester Evening News. He has confirmed us that Erik ten Hag is ready for the second pursuit of Frenkie de Jong in the summer. Welcome to United Matters channel, and we are talking Sabitzer. His plans for staying at United permanently have been really revealed by Fabrizio Romano this time around, the #1 transfer guru as far as transfers are really concerned. I'm going to discuss that. And lastly, there is one thing that Erik ten Hag did that all of us need to go ahead and really uphold and really hold in high esteem, as he really thanked the journalists that really worked with him to the preseason for 2 weeks. So, Rock and David is my name. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner, that's the place to be. Now, before we get into that sort of Erik ten Hag and Frenkie de Jong, I have some two reporters that really told us stories concerning Frenkie de Jong as to how he is not ready to join Manchester United, and that Erik ten Hag called Frenkie de Jong personally on multiple occasions, but each time he found the same answer: I want to stay. The player maintained. That is Tony Juan Mati. He works for Relevo in Spain. Now, after that, even Steve K confirmed to us that Manchester United are less likely to sign Barcelona and Netherlands midfielder Frenkie de Jong than they were last season, despite reports Barcelona are happy with the player. De Jong is playing regularly and doesn't want to leave the club of Barcelona. That is Frenkie de Jong for you. And as it stands, all looks set. The table is set by Erik ten Hag to go in and really make a second ride for Frenkie de Jong. Amid the stories coming out that he called him several occasions and Frenkie de Jong told him that he doesn't want to come to Manchester United. If at all that was the case, there was no reason for Richard Arnold and John Mata to go to agree a fee of a player who never wanted to come to our club. We all know the reason as to why Frenkie de Jong never crossed from Barcelona to Manchester United was that he had his deferred wages of 17 million euros that he wanted to be paid by Barcelona. Then he quits. You get? We saw everything that really happened. The club wanted him out. The player wanted to go out but was telling them, please, I want my money. And that really led Xavi to play him as a central defender in all the preseason games they played. That is Xavi trying to show him that I don't want you at this club. That was the case. Now, even Samuel Lucas, the person behind this story, are going to bring you of Ten Hag ready for the second pursuit of Frenkie de Jong, came out and confirmed us that it was confirmed privately. Erik ten Hag had a message from Frenkie de Jong confirming to him that he's willing to come to play at Manchester United, and there was no reason for Erik ten Hag to tell the board that don't sign any other player before you bring in Frenkie de Jong here. So Frank de Jong was the marquee signing or the priority signing of Erik ten Hag, and he wouldn't have gone ahead to say that if at all Frank de Jong had not given him green light from his side that he's willing to come to Manchester United. That's it. You get? So amidst all that they say that Barcelona is not willing to sell, Frenkie de Jong wants to stay. He told him he's privately staying at Barcelona. There comes the story coming in from a man called Samuel Lucas. Sorry about that. Now, Samuel Lucas, the man behind the story that Ten Hag had a private agreement with Frenkie de Jong that is going to come to Manchester United, has gone ahead to confirm to us today that Erik ten Hag is open to a second pursuit of Frenkie de Jong amid ongoing financial issues at Barcelona. Also, Ten Hag would endorse a move for Jude Bellingham if he's receptive to joining Manchester United. Have you heard? If he is receptive to joining Manchester United, meaning that Ten Hag will never go for a player who is not receptive to joining Manchester United. Frenkie de Jong is a player who is receptive to joining Manchester United. That's it. It's written all over the book that, all over the whole, that Ten Hag and Frenkie de Jong are really loving oneself. According to what happened to Frenkie de Jong at Old Trafford and at the stadium down in Camp Nou when he was facing Manchester United, I believe he has now a belief that United are really back. He sees himself as a player who is supposed to be playing alongside Casemiro. That's it. And Erik ten Hag wants to be having a fully fit, press-resistant midfield. The beauty of Frenkie de Jong is simple. Frenkie de Jong can play in all three positions of the midfield. That's why Ten Hag really wants him. When Casemiro is injured, you'll deploy him in the CDM position and will play very well and deliver to the fullest. If Eriksen is injured, he can play into that position very well. If Bruno Fernandes needs a rest, or you want to play him wide right or left, Frenkie de Jong can play as a central attacking midfielder. That's the beauty of Frenkie de Jong, and he is really ready to get him in. But we are being told that he would also like to bring in Jude Bellingham if at all he's receptive to coming to Manchester United. For Jude Bellingham, it's going to base on very many situations. One, how much we are buying the centre forward that Ten Hag is making his marquee signing in the summer, because the striker we want, that is Victor Osimhen, goes for 120 million pounds. Now, if you spend 120 million pounds, can you spend another 120 million pounds on a player called Jude Bellingham? Because we are having financial constrictions, as we don't want to violate the financial fair play rule, because 5 years are coming to an end in the summer transfer window, and we shouldn't spend stupidly. We should spend in line of whatever the financial fair play rule dictates. So I don't see that we can have Frenkie de Jong and Jude Bellingham. I don't see it. Even if the Qatar is coming through, they'll be having the money, but how would we spend the money? Even if you offload very many players, because the best we can get from selling players, I think it can be like 120 million pounds. Harry Maguire 40 million, Scott McTominay 30, that is 70. Brandon Williams 15, that is 88. Dean Henderson 30, that is like 120 million pounds. Who else can be sold and we get some good amount of money from him? Alex Telles like 5. Who else? So I think the best we can get from sales is 120 million pounds, meaning that for that amount of money, we can buy a centre forward. Now, that will depend on the budget that we'll be having to spend on as we really look through the financial fair play rule. I saw it at Arsenal by the summer. They were given 200 million pounds and they couldn't spend close to 60 or 70 million pounds in the summer. What they did, they waited until the January transfer window. They offloaded players, they reduced their wage bill, and then they brought in these players. Maybe I had not counted the wage bill that can also really call in for the signing of Frenkie de Jong and Jude Bellingham. But if that happens at Manchester United, it will be what we call a trophy or a treble winning signing. You get in Victor Osimhen, you get in Frenkie de Jong, you get in Jude Bellingham in a single season. That is a statement that you're going to win the trophy, because you'll be having the best midfield in the world. You see, just Sabitzer, Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, and Donny van de Beek being there fully fit, and they are playing at their best, that midfield can compete with any midfield all over the world. You get? Now, what if you're having Frenkie de Jong and Jude Bellingham? Obviously, that sends a message to you clearly that this will be a team that no one can stop. That midfield will be the best in the Premier League. And if you're best in the Premier League, you're the best in the world. Casemiro, Frenkie de Jong, Jude Bellingham. Oh my God. They're nowhere near Rodri, Ika Gundogan, and Bernardo Silva. They are really good. So let's wait and see how that is going to happen, as far as we are told by Samuel Lucas, a source coming in from Manchester United, a source that you trust, that is being fed in by the club on what the transfer plans are. Because right now, amidst us not having a clear picture of who is going to be owning United in the summer, Erik ten Hag has already started to submit in those players that he could go ahead and really get, because I know on every position he has gone ahead to outline 3 or 4 players that could go ahead and redo the job. Tomorrow we are doing a story of the strikers, and Fabrizio Romano has confirmed to us that there are very many that he's talking about and thinking about to bring down here at the club of Manchester United. That is Fabrizio Romano for you. Now, after that, as we talk Frenkie de Jong, Jude Bellingham, there is a player already at Manchester United who is performing very well and doing all what he has to do in the central midfield. You saw him in the game of Newcastle. He came on through, he played 25 minutes, and he created a chance for Rashford. And Rashford went in for selfish effort. But it shows you how good he is. A sliding tackle that won the ball at the half line, all at the halfway of the pitch, and then released Marcus Rashford. He looks like he's used to this team. Looks like he has been here ever since the season started. And I think as the season grows, this guy is really going to be one of the best midfielders in the world or in the Premier League. And it might even tempt Erik ten Hag to stop thinking about Jude Bellingham and Frenkie de Jong. I'm talking about Marcel Sabitzer. Now, we had stories from Germany that Sabitzer wants to stay. His agent confirmed to us that he wants a permanent stay. Now, Fabrizio Romano, as usual, Mr. Here We Go, has come out and told us, or given us his verdict, that Sabitzer would be really happy to stay at Manchester United. The player is loving the club. Relationship with Ten Hag. He's loving the club, and his relationship with Erik ten Hag. Decision on Sabitzer's future will be made at the end of the season, not before. Now, he's just asserting and adding more beef to what we've always been telling you, that Sabitzer has given green light to staying at Manchester United. He wants to be here forever and ever, all till kingdom come. Even Fabrizio is really reiterating the words that Pletogol said, Christian Folk said from Germany, and obviously the only thing he has not told us is the amount of money that Bayern are willing to get from Sabitzer. Now, Sabitzer is at £20 million. Bayern Munich is willing to take that money and take it. So, I believe, however much the decision of really selling him or keeping him is going to be made in the summer, we all know, or at the end of the season, we all know that this guy is really one of the best in the world and has gone ahead to play a very huge role at Old Trafford. And I believe the work he has put in is hugely appreciated by Erik ten Hag. And he's a very experienced player that we need. Oh my God, that is thunder. So he's a very experienced player that we need at the club of Manchester United, and I believe that we should keep him here. But even if Ten Hag says he's not really going to keep him at Manchester United because he's fancying the signature of Jude Bellingham or Frenkie de Jong, there are very many other teams that have now seen the potential of Sabitzer. I believe Liverpool will be in for him, Arsenal will be in for him, Chelsea, Man City. They will all be in for him because he has shown potential and he has put himself in the shop window. With the very few games he's played at Manchester United, he's really important in blocking, interceptions, aerial duels, ground duels, and those final passes. And those switch plays that he does to really confuse the enemy, that is really one of the things that you'll go on and really love about Marcel Sabitzer, as Erik ten Hag is planning to keep him at the club of Manchester United. Now, lastly, as we call it off, the manager, that is Erik ten Hag, had lots of things he did when we were in the preseason in Perth, Perth, Melbourne, Taiwan. This is what he did, and it's for the very first time. I'm hearing it for the very first time that he did it, and it shows you how professional he is and how he wants to know, to keep every person in the know of how useful he is for the club of Manchester United, or to the club of Manchester United. He said This is the Manchester United Evening News that the morning after Manchester United's final pre-season friendly in Perth, Ten Hag sent an email to the journalists who followed the team to express his gratitude for attending the tour and the engagement with the players. That's Ten Hag for you, and it's coming from the Manchester Evening News. He emphasized with the journalists for the 2.5 week duration they spent away from their families and loved ones. Now, this is out of this world. This manager knows how to build a club. He knows that if they are to perform at a higher level, all the journalists that report the news of the club need to be in the same line. They need to be having the same agreement. And with this, it stops what we call leakages coming in from the players to these journalists, because the journalist is all right. Ten Hag sends me mails, he talks to me. Why should I go ahead and really publish this story? So that is what we call damage limitations, damage control at the club. He knows what to do right, and all of them, they are really performing very well. They really love Erik ten Hag because of how he treated them while they were in Perth. And do you know why? Most of them were annoyed because in the previous seasons, in the previous pre-seasons, these players would anyhow go all out and talk to the media. But this time around, it changed. He had to draw a plan of how and when and who is going to talk to the media. That's Erik ten Hag for you, because he knows that if you keep your player so much in the media, he's really going to be asked questions that might really turn him off. So that's Erik ten Hag for you, and your thoughts are highly welcomed in the comment section below. Tell me your thoughts about Ten Hag being ready for Frenkie de Jong second pursuit. The first pursuit failed by a whisker. This time round, he's going in full blossom. Then, Sabitzer permanent stay decision is going to be taken way after the season has ended. So your thoughts about that are welcome in the comment section below. And Erik ten Hag's treat to the journalists he traveled with in pre-season, what are your thoughts about it? I'm humbly waiting for you guys because you have good comments. And there is someone called, what is his name? You talked about the takeover. You are called Hachilala. You are asking me about the takeover status. I think tomorrow we are going to discuss more about the takeover status, because as it stands, it looks like the Glazers are not wanting to sell the club and they are looking in for investment. But the second bids are really going to be welcomed, I think, by the end of this week. Obviously, by the Rain Group, who spearheaded the selling of Chelsea. They are also spearheading the sale of Manchester United, as the Glazers are clinging on a $6 billion sale. Sheikh Jassim of Qatari Investments is presenting or fronting a $4.5 billion sale and doesn't want to be ransomed. So I sign out for now. See you later. May the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Amen. I'm out.